Or does he tell me that I'm?
Screen, then you can be heard otherwise.
Testing 1, 2, 3, testing.
If you want to talk.
Good evening. I'm going to call the meeting to order and ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Mayor Weinberg,
Here.
Vice Mayor Joel,
Sure.
Commissioner Bloom,
Here.
Commissioner Friedland,
Present.
Commissioner Cruz,
Here.
Commissioner Marks,
Here.
Commissioner Stern,
Here.
Mr. Wasson,
Here.
and Mr. Myers.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Let us all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Let me ask the manager if there's any additions or deletions to the agenda.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, there is one deletion, item 5F on the consent that'll be brought back next month. And I have two items just for clarification in the consent agenda. And item A, in minutes under the special commission meeting, which was held on December 15th, Resolution 2270, which dealt with the rotation of the vice mayor and when the commencement of the November vice mayor's term would begin in an election year. In the fifth whereas, we are removing the word subsequent to and inserting the word after. So it would basically, the November vice mayor term shall begin at the first city commission meeting after the November city commission inauguration ceremony. And in item E, there's a resolution adding authorized conferences for commissioners to attend. In the second whereas, we're clarifying what educational conference really means. So after it says U.S. Conference of Mayors, it shall read one national conference sponsored by a national educational organization. And in the third whereas, it'll just wanted to tighten up what reimbursement will be for reimbursement for attending Miami-Dade League of Cities will include the cost of the meeting, but not travel. Those are the two clarifications.
Okay, thank you. And before we move on to special presentations, just a couple housekeeping matters. And I want the commissioners to recognize that this is a collaborative effort. So anytime you have any ideas how to make this process up here better, more transparent, smoother, more efficient, bring those ideas up. So a couple things you might notice. Number one, the big monitors that used to be up here blocking our faces and our view of the people are gone. Another thing I asked for, you notice the seal is now in the middle, and where the seal used to be will eventually be a flat screen TV, so that if one of us has to appear by Zoom, I don't know if you've ever recall experiencing it, but in the past, if someone was at the lectern speaking, doing a presentation, it was very disconcerting when one of the commissioners would be in the back of their head. So now they'll see all the commissioners up here as they're speaking. And also if someone is showing some plans or something, a design, the members of the audience won't be at a 90-degree angle trying to see it. They'll be able to look up here. So that's in the works with IT. Also, of course, we're now live streaming from now on our meetings, which makes it easier for people at home. And then most significantly, tonight, we're going to try out the new system. When you have a comment to make and you need me to recognize you or want to ask for a motion, you have a button to push. If it works, I'll be able to see who made the motion first. I won't be guessing, and you won't have to be raising your hand like in school and getting me to recognize you. Now, I'm sure that will still happen, and I might be slow on the uptake of the software, so don't worry if you have to let me know that you're trying to be recognized, but we'll work through it tonight, and I think it'll be a nice upgrade for us. Okay, having said that, special presentations, if I'm not mistaken, it's just one this evening. We have with us tonight Olivia Caleri, who is the new district legislative aide for our state senator, Senator Jason Pizzo, and I would love for her to introduce herself to our city.
There we go. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Olivia Caleri. I am the new district legislative aide for Senator Pizzo, District 37. Aventura is one of the cities within our district. I was just hired recently. I graduated Florida State University in December. So I'm new to the position, but not new to the team. I interned for him this summer. So I'm excited to be official and be working with the city of Aventura along with all the other cities in our district. Right now, I don't have any contact information, but if you need my contact information, you can come find me at the end of this meeting. And I promise by the next one, I'll have a business card ready to go. So thank you all. And it's a pleasure meeting you all tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations on graduating from Florida State and for now working officially with Senator Pizzo. Moving on to item 5, that's the consent agenda. Does anyone want to remove an item? If not, I will ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exclusion of 5F, which has been pulled. Let's try our system up. How do you like that? I see moved by Commissioner Stern. Now, wow, thank you. Everybody's trying to get in on it. So now I'm going to clear it and ask for a second. Commissioner Cruz, you win. Seconded by Commissioner Cruz. And a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Bloom,
Yes.
Commissioner Freeland,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz,
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Stern,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joel,
Yes.
and Mayor Weinberg.
Yes.
The motion passes.
And that reminds me of one more administrative housekeeping item I asked to be changed for better government. So when we do these motions and we vote, the order will rotate. So it's not always going to be Commissioner Bloom voting first. It will rotate. And then always the second to last is the vice mayor and the last is the mayor, but the others will no longer be alphabetical. You'll rotate. Oh, and also it looks like there's closed captioning on that screen, which is a nice feature. I wish I was able to read it from here, but. Okay, that brings us to item 6, zoning hearings. There are none tonight. Item 7, first reading for ordinances. I will ask the clerk to read the ordinance.
An ordinance of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending Chapter 2 Administration, Article 4 Finance, Division 3 Purchasing of the City of Aventura Code of Ordinances to provide for enhanced purchasing authority and revise competitive bidding, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve? Made by Commissioner Bloom. Everyone ready? And a, hands on your buttons, and a second, please. Commissioner Joel. Can you review this, city manager?
Sure. Currently, right now, anytime we spend more than $2,500 on any item, we have to get 3 competitive bids. A city this size, it has become quite cumbersome because, as probably everybody knows, prices have gone up for a lot of different things, and the bidding process has really been hinders us in doing our work. We're asking to approve it to go to $5,000 or less. We can go without a competitive bid. Anything over 5,000 would require 3 competitive bids.
Thank you. Does any member of the commission have any questions or comments? Commissioner Joel.
No, good question. Just pressed it by mistake.
Okay, seeing none, I'll close it and open it for public comment. Any public comment? Seeing none, I will close it for public comment, and I will ask for a roll call vote.
Commissioner
That got cut off. We didn't hear who you asked.
Commissioner Friedland,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz,
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Stern,
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joel,
Yes.
and Mayor Weinberg.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Okay, item 8, ordinance's second reading. If the clerk will please read the ordinance.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending ordinance number 2021-17, which ordinance adopted a budget for the 2021-2022 fiscal year by revising the 2020 budget as outlined in Exhibit A attached to carry out the aims of this ordinance and providing for an effective date.
You glitched there for a second. We didn't hear you. Does anyone want it to be reread? Or you understand what it is? Okay, so let me ask,
Mr. Mayor, if I may, she really should read the entire ordinance.
thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, if you can do it again because it
Okay.
froze.
Let's try it again. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending ordinance number 2021-17, which ordinance adopted a budget for the 2021-2022 fiscal year by revising the 2021-2022 fiscal year operating and capital budget as outlined in Exhibit A attached hereto, authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to carry out the aims of this ordinance and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve? Made by Commissioner Bloom. And a second, please. Made by Commissioner Friedland. Can you review the item, Mr. Manager?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. At the end of the year, we amend our budget to reconcile things that we spent money on that either went over or sometimes cost more than we expected, or in other cases, we booked more revenue than we expected. And most of the time, that's how the budget runs. Some of the highlights in the reconciliation or this ordinance is we spent some money on additional personnel. We added the assistant manager position, social media consultant, and also a budget manager in our finance department. Our building department had increased activity of $2.1 million. That sounds like a lot of money, and it is, but that's only because more people were doing business in the city. So the expense was offset by a corresponding revenue. Similarly, $950,000 was more expense came into our community services department. Again, that was offset by additional revenue from people taking advantage of our Parks and Recreation department. In the Public Works Department, we spent $293,000 more for water and electric. This wet season, believe it or not, wasn't that wet. So our fields require a lot of water and maintenance. When we fertilize and do things like that, we use a lot of water, and hopefully in the future that will change when we go to artificial turf or field turf. We had to repair a backup generator that gives power to this building in the event of a power shortage or a hurricane. And our capital projects, many of these things I'm going to read off now were brought to the commission earlier during the year and were approved. The community center and the art center both needed full roof replacements. The commission decided to go all in and instead of try to do a short-term repair, do full replacement. That cost a little over $500,000. Our garage, our parking garage here, we spent some repairs updating that, $255,000. And on our in street maintenance, we took advantage of some projects that were done by us and by the county on 183rd Street. They did a sewer line work up 183rd Street, which they're still doing on Williams Island. But because they were going to pave their side of the street, because they were mobilized with their asphalt teams, we jumped on that, asked them to do both sides of the street, which removed that item from our capital project. So we were able to, while it costs more money, we save more money. And on 213th Street, we did a stormwater replacement all the way down from, I think, 34th Avenue down to the Point. And we took advantage of it very similar. We were able to asphalt both sides of the street. We saved money, but it cost, in the short term, it was an expense we incurred. Those are the major highlights of the bill.
Thank you, and thank you to Public Works. Any question or comments from the commission? Seeing none, I'll open this item for public comment. Seeing none, we'll close the item for public comment and ask for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Cruz,
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Stern,
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom,
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joel,
Yes.
and Mayor Weinberg.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 9, resolutions. There are no resolutions this evening. Item 10, reports. Do any commissioners have anything to report on? Sure. Commissioner Marks?
I would just like to mention that this morning at 7:30, the Wounded Warriors met here at one of the nearby hotels, and they left for their annual journey down to Key West. These are individuals who served in the military and have experienced disabilities, whether it's a limb or eyesight, all the way up to issues like PTSD or other things. They are an amazing group of people. Our commission very strongly supported them this morning. Many personnel were there, and as were our mayor and our police department. And it's just an amazing, heartwarming project. And I want to thank our city for really supporting this because and Elaine Adler, it's just a fabulous program.
Thank you, Commissioner Marks. A simply fabulous event year after year. Commissioner Marks in particular and Commissioner Friedland are always there. There were a bunch of school kids there today to cheer them on. It was really, really really nice. Any other reports? Okay, I have a report. As you know, I attended the International Mayors Conference to combat anti-Semitism in Athens, Greece, followed by Israel, a very quick trip, zero tax dollars involved. Upon return, I participated in a press conference at the Greater Miami Jewish Federation with about 4 other Miami-Dade County mayors. Eventually, I'll be involved with the U.S. Conference of Mayors on the same subject, and we will continue to be one of the leading municipalities across the globe on this fight. Commissioner Cruz spearheaded the resolution, which we've agreed to pass. That'll happen at our next meeting. The IRA definition of anti-Semitism, which gives law enforcement officers more tools and prosecutors more tools. And I'm just very proud of our city for leading the charge. I'll be sending out an email with more details, more information. Another thing I want to share, at 2:55 this afternoon, I received an email letting me know that our city will be recognized as the 2022 Bike 305 Municipality of the Year. So congratulations. This really is a tribute to, among others, our police department. They mentioned that our Share the Road bike rides that we do, our community services department and our police department, they specifically mentioned Manny Gonzalez and Kimberly Merchant. And with our free helmet giveaways and our bike safety courses and our tutorials and our rides. So there will be an event on March 3rd at 8 o'clock in the morning at Hollover Park, where the county mayor will speak, followed by a bike ride to Aventura City Hall, approximately 6.3 miles. So if that's difficult for you, start training. And it should be a really, really nice event. I literally learned about it a couple hours ago. Hopefully there'll be police. Yeah, did you want to say something? Okay, so that's an update. I just learned of that, but it's again a tribute to the way things are done in our community. Commissioner Cruz?
Just wanted to take the opportunity to invite everybody, and you'll all be receiving, at least our commission and a lot of our elected officials will be receiving invitations. One of the synagogues, it's not actually in Aventura, but right next door, Batora Benny Rock campus is going to be having Gospel Shabbat, which is really good. And we're going to have a few Congress people, a lot of elected officials, but it's really an opportunity to show how our community comes together and celebrates our differences as we unite. I think that'll be a real nice event for all of us. And again, as Aventura being a city that's inclusive, that's diverse, and that brings people together, and we're all very proud of that.
Thank you. Clerk, attorney, manager, any reports whatsoever?
No, Mayor.
Okay. So at this point, we've reached item 11, which is public comments. I'll ask the city attorney to review the rules and the purpose.
Thank you, Mayor. So very simply that during this period of the meeting, the public has a maximum of 3 minutes to speak on any item within the jurisdiction of the city. It's not for the commission to have a dialogue, with the speaker. Just give the person 3 minutes and move on to the next speaker. There are multiple speakers. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to open this forum for public comment, and anyone who wants to speak has 3 minutes. Please start with your name and your address. And there's actually a timer at the lectern. So anyone who wants to speak, please come forward.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, good evening. My name is John Rowland. I live in a condo called Hidden Bay, 2 blocks from here, at the end of Northeast 190th Street. It used to be called Hidden Bay Drive. First of all, I want to thank all of you for doing such a great job running our city. Nobody who's never sat in any of those chairs could possibly realize what a tough job you do. Well, that's not entirely true. I understand, because I run a condo board. If you've never run a condo board, you have no idea what a tough job is. And of course, I'm kidding, but I didn't come here to kid you or to compliment you. I came here to ask you to give us our address back. When I first bought my condo back in the late 90s in Hidden Bay, it was on Hidden Bay Drive. It was that way for years and years. And then suddenly one day I woke up and quite inexplicably it had become Marina Del Rey Boulevard. Well, there is no Marina Del Rey Boulevard at the end of Northeast 190th Street, but Hidden Bay is still there. So we would like our address back. I don't even think it would cost you anything because the street signs are probably sitting on a shelf in a public works building somewhere. Dust them off, put them up, and voila, you will have righted an extreme wrong. So I thank you, fingers crossed, in advance for giving us our address back. And once again, thank you for the great job you do. Feel fortunate that you don't run a condo board. Thank you for your time and Happy New Year.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
Commissioner Marks knows exactly what you're talking about with regard to condo boards. I think Commissioner Joel has some experience and you're speaking truth. I actually want to make a couple of comments because this is the kind of thing that makes us such a special community. So first of all, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but for those of you that grew up in the New York area, at 10 o'clock every night, a voiceover would come on Channel 5 and it would say, "It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?" It's very, very famous if you come. It's just like if you're in the Boston area, it says Wednesday is Prince Spaghetti Day. Anyone in Boston knows that. So in the New York tri-state area, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? As soon as you heard that, Ron, am I telling the truth? After that happened, you would hear good evening. It would be the 10 o'clock news. And that's the anchor right there, John Rowland. So imagine being the anchor in the largest market and then choosing to retire in our community and taking on the headache of a board president. But I will tell you, what he said is accurate because I happen to live in Hidden Bay. And when I bought my unit, one day I had to call the mortgage company and they said, for security purposes, state your address. And I said 3370 Northeast 190th Street. And they said, wrong. And I said, what are you talking about? I'm standing there. I know my address. Wrong. Well, it turns out the address on the mortgage documents is 3370 Hidden Bay Drive. Now, I'm sure what happened is, because we don't own our streets, when the county redid the signage, they went to what it was 30 years ago, just like Founders Park used to be Marina Del Rey Park. It's a simple mistake. I'm sure we can ask Commissioner Steinberg to take care of that. And while we're at it, I have one request. When, let's say soccer lets out of Founders Park or softball, everybody pulls out, takes a right. And when they get to that first light, which is West Country Club Drive, 90% of the people turn right. Unfortunately, if one car there is going straight, everybody's backed up. And there's another lane to go straight. So that should be a right turn only. Again, a simple fix. I would make that request as well.
Mayor, the traffic thing we'd definitely look into, but all we need probably to change the name of the street is a resolution from the commission requesting it, and then it goes to the county, and then from there, it's not a state issue.
So let's see if we
Bring it
can
in the workshop.
put that on the workshop for later this month. Thank you. Any other members of the public? Yes, please.
Hi, my name is Marcel Fischler. I also live at Hidden Bay and I'm on the board with John. My question is about the parks being closed on Tuesdays. On many Tuesdays, my 4-year-old granddaughter comes to visit and she wants to go to the park. and we walk down the street, and that's usually the only day she comes in this direction, and the park is closed. Now, what I don't understand is if you're cleaning the park, why does that park and the one on 188th Street, why do they all have to be closed at the same time? And there's nowhere to take the toddlers. It seems to me that you could accommodate the little kids who love to use that park by letting it be open, let's say from 9 to 12 when they go home for lunch anyway and they nap, and then reopen it at 3 o'clock when kids come home from school. Why do you need the whole day? So I'm just wondering if there's a way you can not have the parks closed all day or have some of the nearby parks be open.
Thank you. Mr. Manager, can you
I'll get back.
reach out to this, give your information to the manager, and he will get back with you. Our director of our parks is not here this evening, but
We'll respond.
they'll get with you. Give your information, please, to the manager so they can correspond with you. Thank you very much. Yeah, sure. Any other public comment?
Nine.
Good evening and Happy New Year. Thank you for inviting us. We actually, my daughter wrote a letter over the holidays about climate change and pollution, and she wanted to read the letter. Thank you for inviting us and having us over. And you want to read the letter to the mayor and the team? Yeah? Okay.
Dear Mayor of Aventura, when I went to New York City, I saw that in 6 years, we cannot reverse climate change anymore. I'm only 14 by then. We have to act now. Otherwise, Miami will be underwater. I will have to leave my friends behind and move to a new home. Let's make a plan to reduce pollution. By Amelie, age 8.
Thank you so much for your letter. And we're gonna make a copy of your letter and we're gonna put it into the official record of this meeting, okay? And then we're gonna try to take action because what you said is very true. And I think we're all very concerned about your issues. And you're very, 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 very intelligent young lady. Thank you so much for coming here tonight.
Thank you.
I see no other business. If no one has anything to add, then I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn our first commission meeting as this commission. Commissioner Cruz, and I'll ask for a second.
I do.
Commissioner Bloom. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned. Ron, could you get a copy of that girl's letter? We can try. Mine has the thing on it.
We're the only two that have to.
Oh, no. What's your name?
Like, want to share?
No kidding.